Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Phyllis and Kane's deal, Sienna versus Kyle and Sally's risk. Spoilers for Friday, October 24th, 2025 are available on The Young and the Restless. Fans can anticipate Sally Spectra taking a chance on Audra Charles in the upcoming episode. Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers reach a consensus. Additionally, Kyle Abbott attempts to extract information from Sienna Bacall. Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. The danger of Sally Spectra. Sally will risk anything for Audra, so let's start there. This is probably related to Audra's need for employment. She may have heard about Noah Newman's vehicle accident, of course. Despite their tumultuous past, Audra seemed to have always had a deep affection for Noah. Therefore, Audra may ask Sally for information regarding Noah's health. Read more. Discover the events of YNR's most recent episode. Sienna Bacall versus Kyle Abbott. Kyle will insist that Holden Novak is concealing something over in Los Angeles. The man will ask Sienna for information since he believes she knows something. But Sienna is a tough cookie, and I don't think she'll be particularly courteous to Kyle. In fact, Sienna might warn Kyle that he might end up like Noah if he doesn't stop prying around. The deal between Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers. According to Friday, October 24th teasers for The Young and the Restless, Phyllis and Kane will reconcile. Red intends to exploit the AI program to achieve all of her goals in life, essentially stealing it. Kane is aware, though, that Phyllis tampered with the program. They will therefore reach an agreement. Read this. Sharon Case of The Young and the Restless reveals twists and turns. What will happen next in the Noah mystery story? October 24th, 2025, Friday. Claire Grace Newman was profoundly impacted by Noah's coma. Claire might be reminded of the last time she saw her father alive, it appears. Claire and Victoria Newman had to bid Cole Howard farewell for the last time in a hospital room, just like that. That might therefore affect Claire. Would Claire experience further panic attacks, requiring Holden to save her once more? Or is Kyle correct that there's something really strange about Holden? Does he have any role in Noah's current state of coma? Sally stands up for Audra after Sienna puts herself in a difficult situation. According to Friday, October 24th spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Kyle Abbott tries to gain answers from Sienna Bacall, while Sally Spectra goes out on a limb for Audra Charles. Let's get started by giving B&B fans all the information they need to know, because this sounds like an amazing Friday cliffhanger. Cliffhanger delivers on Friday. Kyle tries to seek answers from Sienna over in LA. He is currently involved in the mess involving Sienna, Holden Novak, and Noah Newman after going there to stalk Claire Newman. To begin with, Kyle wants to learn more about Holden, his Claire opponent. Being astute, Sienna recognizes Kyle's intentions. She inquires as to if he wishes to discredit Holden in order to get her back. Kyle claims that he only wants to keep Claire safe. What is Sierra concealing? Kyle, however, is also committed to determining Noah's role in Sienna's life. Will he be able to get beyond her barriers and assist them? Now that I think about it, he wouldn't be trying to make himself appear good in front of the Newman family, would he? In another scene, Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers reach a consensus in Genoa City. Even if they are still co-workers, Kane may still believe that Phyllis stole his AI program. Will Phyllis and Kane combine pleasure and business? Kane's claims caused Phyllis and him to argue during the October 23rd episode. Indeed, it became thoroughly sultry. According to Red Hot YNR spoilers, Phyllis has a new romantic interest, and we believe that Phyllis and Kane may soon intensify their relationship. However, things could get problematic because Phyllis stole the program. What takes place on the CBS soap next? In the meantime, Sally risks everything to attempt to support Audra, her new closest friend. Spoilers for Juicy the Young and the Restless suggest that Sally takes charge and reveals her true self. Does she advocate for Audra at Abbott Communications as a result? In order to keep messy Audra, we think Sally will ask Jill Abbott and possibly Billy Abbott. What will happen with that? Will Nick's next adversary be Mitch Bacall from The Young and the Restless? Nick has yet to meet Mitch on The Young and the Restless. Now that we know Mitch is Sienna's spouse, however, we have a feeling we're going to be in for a treat when they do. On Thursday's program, Nick got to meet her. She answered some of his questions on her most recent encounter with Noah. Was he run off the road by Mitch? He would be Nick's next adversary if he did. What transpired on The Young and the Restless on Thursday? On The Young and the Restless, Nick finally had a face-to-face encounter with Sienna. Nick ran into Kyle, Claire, and Holden on Thursday's episode of The Young and the Restless. It just so happens that they are all staying in the same LA lodging. Fans have noted how odd that is in and of itself, given that LA. What a huge city. Nick felt fortunate that Sienna was present and engaged in an enigmatic conversation with Holden. Nick had questions for her regarding Noah, so she invited him to join her when she got back to her club. She revealed to Nick that her spouse is Mitch. When he came to see Noah at his club in London, he inspired Noah to start a club in Los Angeles. Was it true what Sienna stated about his being Noah's friend? Is Mitch truly a dangerous and dubious person that threatens Noah? Is he the reason Noah is battling for his life in the hospital? Nick will go into father bear mode if that's the case, so be careful, Mitch. Will Nick and Sienna have a brief affair? Is there something Sienna on The Young and the Restless is keeping from Nick? Fans of The Young and the Restless are curious as to whether Nick and Sienna will start dating. It's been a while since he was with anyone. After they kissed in Nice, France, it appeared like he might see Sharon again. However, nothing has occurred as of yet. Nick is unsure of how to feel about Sienna at the moment. Like a homicide detective, he asked her questions in quick succession, one after the other. When he asked her why she didn't return his call the other day, she didn't offer him a direct response, which may have made her tense. Her voicemail was left unanswered. What might she be concealing? And if we believe her when she says that Mitch is her husband, then where is he and why haven't we met him yet? Perhaps she knows that he caused Noah's accident, and by remaining silent, she is shielding him. It's been a long time since Nick had any archenemies. Matt Clark was one of his fiercest rivals on The Young and the Restless. Nick needs another adversary like Matt, who made Nick furious. He once raped Sharon, who was his rival for her. If Mitch Bacall were to become Nick's next Matt Clark, it would be dramatic and soap operatic. Did Mitch cause Noah to go into a coma? Was Mitch at fault for Noah's vehicle accident on The Young and the Restless? Nick's loved one was harmed by Matt. Nick will make sure there is hell to pay if Mitch did the same to one of his other loved ones. Hopefully, though, Nick will face Mitch rather than Victor. Jack and Kane are only two of Victor's many enemies. Nick needs to be his own worst enemy. Since we don't know what Nick will face, we're in for an exciting ride on The Young and the Restless if it turns out to be Mitch. Has Mitch ever put someone's life in danger before? Or is this the first time he has done so? Nick will undoubtedly be incensed at the person responsible for the collision if Noah sustains irreversible brain damage. What possible motive could Mitch have for chasing Noah off the road if he was the one responsible? Did Noah have proof that Mitch had done something shady? Did Mitch prevent him from bringing it to the police? What role does Holden play in all of this? Is it possible that he was Mitch's old acquaintance and had some sort of involvement? Nick must investigate if it is the case. Let's hope that Nick and Mitch end up becoming the next great Y&R antagonists. Nick's actor Joshua Morrow will be fantastic in those moments, particularly if Mitch and Holden were in them. Nick will therefore have to contend with two adversaries. Nick, get them. Loyalty, redemption, and the thin line between friendship and sacrifice. Sally's risk. Sally Spectra is once again forced to balance her moral convictions with her personal turmoil in the tumultuous world of The Young and the Restless. Sally's choice to risk all for Audra Charles is not merely a random gesture of generosity. Rather, it is a reflection of her lengthy and complex history of self-preservation, loyalty, and her desire for acceptance in a community that has never completely trusted her. Sally has always been a survivor with a large heart hidden beneath layers of ambition and uncertainty, a lady with her own code. She is demonstrating that she has changed from the cunning person she was when she defends Audra, and it is more than just friendship. Meanwhile, Audra finds herself at a turning point. Her personal and professional worlds are collapsing, and the rumors surrounding Noah Newman's accident have only made matters worse. It's possible to view Sally's readiness to assist Audra as both courageous and stupid. Sally's own career and relationships are at stake because of the risk she takes, which could be to defend Audra's reputation or advocate for her employment. When it comes to misplaced trust, the Abbotts are not exactly forgiving, especially Kyle and Billy. However, Sally's actions are motivated by empathy. She sees in Audra a reflection of herself, someone who has been misinterpreted, undervalued, and criticized. The underlying tension from Noah's accident is another factor. Despite their shattered history, Sally is aware that Audra's heart still beats for Noah. Sally could be entering a minefield of unresolved feelings and possible secrets if she steps in. She has genuine sympathy, but sincerity rarely has no repercussions in Genoa City. Sally runs the risk of offending allies like Nick Newman or Chloe if she becomes overly close to Audra. She compromises her conscience if she does nothing, though, and Sally Spectra is fervent about doing what she believes is right, even if it causes her to lose friends in the process. Fans are reminded by this plotline why Sally has emerged as one of YNR's most intriguing contemporary heroines. She never makes clear-cut decisions. Although she is realistic and calculating when needed, she also possesses a sincere emotional depth that makes her accessible. In the end, her risk for Audra might change her course on the show. Maybe she's looking for atonement for her past manipulations as well as for her dashed hopes, her rocky relationship with Nick, her failed romance with Adam, and her turbulent career changes. She may be demonstrating her ability to be both ambitious and compassionate by helping Audra, which is uncommon in a society where secrets and power rule. It may be the start of a strong partnership between two undervalued women if Sally is able to assist Audra in getting back on her feet, possibly by persuading Billy or Jill Abbott to give her another shot. When combined, they could emerge as a new force in Genoa City's social and commercial scene. Sally might lose all she has worked so hard to reestablish, including her brittle trust with the Abbotts, if this risk turns out to be detrimental. In any case, her transformation from an outsider to a major character whose actions have an impact on several plot lines is cemented by her brave gesture. The perilous dance of secrets, seduction, and suspicion in Sienna versus Kyle. Kyle Abbott plunges into his own perilous seas, while Sally manages emotional risk. The extent to which Kyle will go when his interest becomes an obsession is made clear by his encounter with Sienna Bacall. What starts out as an investigation into the accident involving Holden Novak and Noah Newman swiftly devolves into a psychological chess game between two equally committed opponents. The kind of intrigue that soap operas love is personified by Sienna, the mysterious nightclub owner who has connections to both Noah and Holden. She is a clever, bold, and extremely protective woman who keeps her secrets. It becomes evident that Kyle has more nuanced intentions when he approaches her, supposedly in an attempt to obtain answers. On the one hand, he truly worries for Claire Grace Newman, whose grief over Noah's coma has brought back memories of her father, Cole Howard. However, Kyle's engagement comes across as personal, colored with ego, envy, and an almost obsessive urge to find out the truth. But Sienna is no idiot. She quickly sees through Kyle's strategies. She is a fierce opponent because of her keen perception and scathing wit. As they challenge each other's limitations, their interaction erupts with intensity. Her evasiveness only confirms Kyle's belief that she knows more than she's revealing, while Sienna views Kyle's interference in her personal and professional life as a threat. Sienna's warning that if he doesn't stop nosing around he could share Noah's fate is more than just a warning. It's a covert threat that significantly ups the ante. The moral ambiguity that characterizes the young and the restless is highlighted by this conflict. Despite being portrayed as the polished corporate heir, Kyle has a darker side that includes being determined, cunning, and even irresponsible. In contrast, Sienna represents the enigmatic outsider character, a woman who might be shielding someone or concealing something far darker. Does she have any involvement in Noah's mishap? Or is she a victim of someone else's deceit? Her husband, Mitch Bacall, perhaps? Another level of suspense is added when it is revealed that Mitch is Sienna's husband and may have contributed to Noah's injury. Sienna's protectiveness assumes a sad dimension if Mitch was really involved. She can be protecting a guilty husband out of fear or loyalty. This disclosure also connects to Nick Newman's developing misgivings. When Nick eventually gets to meet Sienna, his questioning style is persistent and inquisitive, much like a detective's. An explosive encounter is set up when he learns that Mitch may have been in contact with Noah just before the disaster. Kyle's perseverance may make him both a hero and a fool in this complex web. He might be in immediate danger as a result of his alliance with Claire and his meddling in the probe. If Mitch is the real antagonist in this tale, Kyle's curiosity could end up costing him dearly. Therefore, Sienna's warning might not be unfounded. The plot skillfully contrasts Sienna's streetwise savvy with Kyle's affluent self-assurance, generating an intellectual and emotional tension. Their scenes deal with control, manipulation, and survival rather than merely information. Additionally, survival in Y&R frequently comes at a terrible cost. Phyllis and Kane's agreement. Allure, innovation, and Red's comeback. Phyllis Summers is back in Genoa City and must once more balance the delicate line between genius and devastation. As brilliant as she is chaotic, her tense cooperation with Kane Ashby over the stolen AI program is quintessential Phyllis. It says much about her deceptive charm and capacity to turn any circumstance to her advantage that she has taken Kane's work while still managing to reach a mutual understanding with him. Phyllis herself is perfectly embodied by the AI plot, which is erratic, strong, and frighteningly self-aware. Her duality, being both a hero and a villain, a mother and a seductress, an inventor and a saboteur, has characterized Phyllis for many years. She frequently becomes her own greatest enemy in her attempt to gain control. She is basically playing with fire by taking Kane's program. However, they also have an odd chemistry that suggests their professional conflict could quickly turn into a romantic one. For his part, Kane is hardly a helpless victim. He is too familiar with Phyllis to undervalue her. A simmering attraction that could make things more complicated is shown by their verbal sparring, which is full of accusations and double-dealing. Underneath their deal, which may appear to be a practical pact to split earnings or keep quiet in the workplace, there's a perilous undercurrent of mutual interest. Kane sees Phyllis as a reflection of his own moral ambivalence. Her blend of recklessness, passion, and intelligence is intoxicating. The young and the restless takes on a new dynamic with the potential for a romance between Phyllis and Kane. Both characters are looking for meaning and approval during times of transition in their life. In a world where younger tech brains rule, Phyllis sees the AI project as her chance to make a comeback and demonstrate her continued vision. For Kane, it's about getting respect back after years of failures in his career and personal life. Their union is unstable since it is based on necessity, yet is driven by desire. The moral depth of this plot is what makes it so captivating. Although Phyllis stole the AI software, her motivations may have been more than just self-interest. Maybe she thinks the technology may be used to influence people's lives or to outsmart influential people like Jack Abbott and Victor Newman. She persuades herself that the goals outweigh the methods, in typical Phyllis fashion. However, history demonstrates that her worst failures invariably occur when she transgresses that moral boundary. Both characters could be saved or destroyed by this alliance. Kane and Phyllis have the potential to make a powerful business team if they can work together in an honest manner. But the consequences will be dramatic if one betrays the other, which is practically a given, let's face it. Their plot is one of the most surprising in recent Y&R history because of the conflict between ambition and attraction, trust and betrayal, the emotional undercurrent, the unsolved mystery, and Claire's trauma. The eerie specter of Noah Newman's coma permeates all three plotlines. His illness simultaneously triggers and reflects the emotional upheaval of others in his immediate vicinity. Claire's character is given depth, and her fragile mental state is explained by the memories of her father's passing that her sadness brings back. Holden is drawn to her because of her panic episodes and emotional instability, but Kyle's misgivings about Holden's intentions form a risky triangle of jealousy, trust, and perhaps dishonesty. The core of the current Y&R mystery is Noah's coma, not merely a plot device. Through common concerns and overlapping goals, it indirectly ties Sally, Audra, Kyle, Sienna, Nick, and even Phyllis together. The effects of Mitch Bacall's involvement in Noah's crash will be felt throughout Genoa City and beyond. Nick's eventual confrontation with Mitch may rekindle his protective tendencies and provide him with a strong opponent he hasn't had since Matt Clark. In summary, the quiet before the storm. The Young and the Restless, October 24th, 2025, episode sets the foundation for a string of morally and emotionally charged conflicts that will reshape Genoa City's power structure. Phyllis's agreement rekindles her hazardous genius. Kyle's research uncovers his irresponsibility, and Sally's risk reveals her humanity. Everyone will be drawn further into a maelstrom of deceit, rage, and retaliation by the unsolved mystery surrounding Noah's accident and Mitch Bacall's possible participation. The enduring themes that make Y&R a soap opera institution, love, betrayal, forgiveness, and the never-ending conflict between truth and deceit, are reflected in every plotline, including Sally's compassion, Kyle's obsession, and Phyllis's ambition. One thing is clear as these stories come together. Genoa City citizens are going to experience repercussions that will permanently alter their way of life.